One of the most common questions that I get asked is, will AI replace my job? So in this video, I want to explore what's coming next for artificial intelligence and what that means for the future of work. Here's the problem. We are living through an unprecedented moment in history. Technology is advancing at an exponential rate, and the pace of change shows no signs of slowing down. Consider that all the technological progress that we've experienced from the beginning of the Industrial Revolution up until the year 2000 took about 200 years to achieve. But since the turn of the century, technological advancement has accelerated dramatically, with new discoveries being made and innovations hitting the market at a breakneck pace. And it seems clear that the biggest advances have been made in areas related to artificial intelligence. And yet, despite all this progress, there are still some things that only humans can do. For example, surgeons can use robots to assist them during operations, but they cannot be replaced by robots entirely. The same goes for truck drivers, who can use self-driving technology to assist them on long hauls, but they can't be replaced entirely. Why is this? Well, it comes down to something called General Artificial Intelligence, or AGI. You see, most people have a very narrow view of what artificial intelligence is. They think of AI as nothing more than software algorithms and statistical models that can be used to perform simple, repetitive tasks, such as playing chess or answering customer service inquiries. However, this is only a tiny fraction of what AI is capable of. In fact, the true potential of AI lies in its ability to perform any intellectual task that a human being can perform. This includes things like reasoning, planning, learning, and creativity. Once AI becomes truly general, it will be able to perform any job that a human being can perform. And this is where things start to get really interesting. So, let's talk about the timeline for when we can expect to see this type of AI. Some experts believe that we are already living in the age of AGI. They argue that programs like ChatGPT and Google's own Gemini Nano are actually AGI. However, I don't think that these tools qualify just yet. To me, AGI is something that is much closer to human intelligence. For example, here's a test that was developed by researchers at the University of Oxford. It's called the Oxford Good AI Common Sense Test. The test evaluates whether a system has human-like common sense and knowledge of the physical world. Here are some of the questions that are asked. If I put a ball on top of a fridge and then I lean it over, what will happen? If you take a shower and the power goes out, what would happen next? What would you do if your trousers had no pockets? Now, if you're able to answer these questions correctly, congratulations! Because you possess what is known as strong artificial intelligence, or what I like to refer to as real AI. So far, no AI system has been able to pass this test. However, researchers are optimistic that AGI will be achieved within the next few decades. Once AGI does become a reality, it will undoubtedly cause major disruptions to society as we know it today. Many people will lose their jobs to machines, and many industries will be completely transformed. There is no doubt that the pace of change will be dramatic, but it's important to remember that technological disruption has always caused some level of unemployment. For example, the Industrial Revolution led to the displacement of many agricultural workers. However, it also created many new opportunities for people to work in factories or start new businesses. The same thing happened with the advent of the personal computer and the internet. Sure, some people lost their jobs to these technologies, but many others gained new opportunities as a result. And this pattern is likely to continue as AI becomes more advanced. The key is to be aware of the changes that are taking place and to invest in ourselves so that we can stay ahead of the curve. This is why I think that now is the perfect time to learn how to code. More specifically, I would recommend learning how to build software applications or websites, because these are the types of skills that will be in high demand as AI becomes more advanced. People sometimes ask me, why coding? Can't I just learn how to use AI tools instead? And my answer is yes, but also no. Let me explain. If you're the type of person who enjoys using AI tools and you're good at leveraging them to solve problems, then I say go for it. Learn how to use those tools to their fullest potential. You'll definitely be in demand. But for those who want more flexibility, or who prefer to be in control of the tools that they use, learning how to code is always a good idea. With that said, there are so many different programming languages out there, so which one should you learn? My recommendation is to choose the language that is most widely used in the industry, which according to the Stack Overflow 2023 survey is, unsurprisingly, JavaScript. But even if you don't plan on becoming a software engineer, learning how to code can still be beneficial. That's because coding teaches you how to think logically and solve problems step by step, which is a skill that can be applied to almost anything, even if you don't end up using code in your day-to-day life. The process of learning to code can help you become a more logical and critical thinker. Alright, so let's take a look at how artificial intelligence will impact different industries. One of the most obvious impacts of artificial intelligence will be in the field of transportation. Self-driving cars are already on the road, and they read just a matter of time before they become mainstream. This will obviously lead to job losses for truck drivers and taxi drivers. But it will also create new opportunities for people to work in the maintenance and repair of self-driving systems. Another industry that will be impacted by AI is healthcare. AI-powered diagnostic tools are already being used to detect things like cancer at an early stage. And as these tools become more advanced, they'll be able to diagnose a wider range of conditions. This doesn't mean that doctors will become obsolete, but it does mean that they'll need to learn how to work alongside AI systems. The finance industry is another area where AI is already being used extensively. AI-powered trading algorithms are used to make millions of trades every day without the need for human intervention. And as these algorithms become more sophisticated, they'll be able to trade more efficiently and effectively. This could lead to job losses for some finance professionals. But it'll also create new opportunities for people with skills in AI and data science. And finally, there's the creative arts. AI is already being used to generate realistic images and videos, which means that jobs that were once thought to be safe, like graphic design and video editing, are now at risk. However, this also opens up new possibilities for creatives to collaborate with AI systems to produce new and innovative works. As you can see, the impact of AI is going to be felt across almost every industry. So it's important to stay aware of the changes that are taking place and to be willing to adapt. One way to do this is to keep learning new skills, especially in areas that are related to AI, such as data analysis or software development, BA. By investing in ourselves, we can ensure that we're prepared for whatever the future may hold. At the end of the day, it's impossible to predict exactly how AI will impact our lives. However, one thing is certain: the pace of change is only going to accelerate from here. So it's important to stay flexible and be willing to embrace new opportunities as they arise. Who knows? Maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones who benefits from the next wave of technological disruption. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.